Stand by. I want to bring in independent senator who caucuses with the Democrats, Angus King out of Maine. Senator, good afternoon to you, and thank you for your time. And any minds being changed today, Senator, or is it status quo?
I don't know. I sit and look straight across at a lot of my friends on the Republican side. I see some nodding on various points, but I don't think I can argue that I'm seeing any minds being changed. Although Susan Collins asked an interesting question right at the end about can you think of a legitimate place where a president would ask a foreign country to investigate an American citizen when no such investigation had started here? I thought that was an interesting question from her, since she's, I think one of the people that's really thinking hard about this.
We are on this question of witnesses. I don't know what your feeling about that is, but I think you favor them quite clearly. What's the effect of no witnesses, do you think? It's late January. You're moving into an election year. America's going to vote in 9.5+ months. What do you think about that, Senator?
Well, I think the question about witnesses is an important one, because frankly, from the president's point of view, if this trial winds up in the next 24, 48 hours with no witnesses, he can say, well, I was acquitted, but he really can't say he was exonerated. I think there'll always be an asterisk by this, trial, but no witnesses. I mean, one of the senators last night said, we had a judge impeachment about 10 years ago. There were 22 witnesses, and we're having no witnesses in the Senate. It's never happened before, and the American people understand. They watch Perry Mason and Law and Order. You always have witnesses.
Just to push it a little further, I'm trying to figure out what the effect is on the American people. That's hard to gauge today, I believe.
I think it is. And listen, I opposed impeachment for the last 2.5 years. I publicly said I think it would be a bad idea for a lot of the reasons that the White House counsel said last night: dividing the country, inflaming passions, let the election decide it. That was before this whole Ukraine thing came up. And the problem with the Ukraine business is that it appears anyway, that it was the president's effort to affect the upcoming election. And so the question is the election a check if the election itself is in play from the point of view of the president's own actions? That's the question.
Last point here. Did you have a problem with Chief Roberts not asking or posing the question that was filed by Senator Rand Paul?
I don't know what the question was, so I don't know, but I have a great deal of respect for Justice Roberts, and it was clear he took it seriously. And so I think, as the manager said last night, they're willing to allow Justice Roberts to make a lot of these decisions on privilege and those kinds of things, having confidence in his judgment. So I guess I can't really say what the basis of it was, but I think he's a serious guy. I respect him.
Based on some of the reporting, it was the same question he filed last night. Last point here. You've got another 6 hours ahead of you. I think you'll wrap around 10 or 11 o'clock tonight.
Right.
What's the sense among your caucus, sir, when you talk to them outside the chamber?
Well, I think, everybody's tired. I mean, this is the fifth day in a row we all have day jobs in the morning. I mean, we're all having meetings and hearings. I had a hearing in Armed Services this morning, and then to go till last night, it was after 11. I think people are tired, but I got to tell you, I have found this question and answer period the last 2 days really interesting, and I've learned a lot. I'm making a lot of notes. I think it's a useful process. So, and look, this is a really important decision, and the fact that we're having to stay up a little late at night and work a long day, a lot of Americans do that. I think we can handle it.
Thank you, Senator.